marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, I'm going to tackle this subject today because I've heard black women talking about this, and somebody has mentioned this on my channel. What have black men done collectively to show black women that they love them? I believe now that there are a lot of black women who have never come into contact with a decent black man. You've not been provided for by your fathers. And sometimes black people, black women, particularly in these large environments, in these apartments and things where everybody's living on top of each other, I don't think that black girls have been protected, and black people let anybody have access to their children. So these girls end up being touched before their time and worse. And so a lot of black women have lived with a lot of trauma, and they don't have any respect for black men because they've never seen any black men that they could respect. And I honestly feel sorry for those black women. Their confidence in men is destroyed before they even get through puberty. And let's just keep it a buck. Grown men who should be protecting these children have invaded their space and violated their bodies. This is not just a problem in the black community. This is a problem all over America. Boys and girls are being violated. But in the case of the girls, they grow up with low self-esteem. Their self-worth is non-existent because they have not been respected as children. But our society teaches women that we need the validation of men. Now, this is a part of what's causing anxiety with black women, especially black women who have never learned to trust men in the first place. A lot of black women don't know how to tell a decent black man from a dusty because they think they're all the same. And they'll go to the very men that don't even like women seeking validation. What we see with these dating coaches and these angry black men and these men on social media, these black men who are constantly trying to give black women advice, is that they reinforce black women's low self-esteem and try to make them feel as worthless as they possibly can. So they minimize and try to dismiss the things about you that you're proud of. Your education, your independence, good credit, owning your own home, your own car, that you're caring for yourself and other people. That's not important. They want to know your dress size. They want to know how much you weigh. How old are you? Is that your real hair or weave? They want to know whether or not you are submissive. And so, see, that's a conversation that no other woman is going to engage in but a black woman, because you are seeking the validation of black men, but you are going to the wrong place. Most of these black men in America, the ones who stand for anything, want their wife to work. That's how wealth is built in the black community, by black men and black women working together, not black men sitting around complaining about how you wear your hair, what your weight is, or whatever it is that they decide that black women ought to do that day. So when you ask the question, what do black men do to show that they love black women? Well, the first thing they do to show they love black women is not pay attention to these Negroes on social media. That's the first thing they do to show they care about you, because they're not listening to these men. Because what these black men are saying on social media has no relevance to a real black man. And the reason these black men are successful tearing down black women is because we do not have a culture where black women are protected. White women wouldn't give these black men the time of day. And even if they do, they're just doing it to manipulate them or try to show that they're better than black women. Because white women are protected in their community. And they know these men, like white men who don't stand for anything, and they don't have any money. They're not a lawyer or a doctor or some type of an entrepreneur. They don't even have a voice in the white community. Nobody's going to pay any attention to a white man that doesn't have anything, that's spending his time all day on social media talking about women. He has no credibility in the white community, and Educated white woman is not going to give a white man the time of day if he doesn't have any money. Neither will any other race of women. Black men are the only men on the face of this earth who can drag a woman down because she's educated, because he's not, and he doesn't have anything, and then the black women will listen to him. It's insane. That's a controlling tactic, but it's also a means that these men are using to feel superior to you because they know they don't measure up. Okay, I digressed. But back to the main topic. How do black men show that they love black women? I'm not going to give black men the responsibility of trying to fix the black community. But there are things that black men do to show that they love black women and that they love their children and that they love the black community. As I said before, and I was being facetious, but it's very important, black men who love black women do not pay attention to other men because black men don't like each other that well and they don't trust each other. But number two, black men who love black women prepare to take care of a woman. They come to you with a job. They come to you with a plan for how they're going to take care of you. And if you live in one of these hoody neighborhoods where it's unsafe, the first thing he's going to do is get you out of that toxic neighborhood and away from those toxic black people. Now, that's what a black man does when he loves a black woman. He is not going to come to you begging, empty-handed, and try to get half of a welfare check. He's going to come to you with a means of supporting you. Another thing that he will do, because he loves you, is to create an environment where you can have a family. And he's going to be with you throughout your pregnancy and take you to the hospital and be there with you when you have the baby. That's love. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but that's a big thing with black people. You are somewhere having a baby and he's somewhere partying somewhere else. And that's very common with black women. So when a man loves you, he's going to be there with you. He's gonna stand in the gap for you. When you get fired from your job, he's gonna hold it down until you can get back on your feet, or you decide that, well, we just gonna homeschool the children. I'm gonna carry the responsibility of the family. That's love. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Black men that care about black women put their families first. They bring their money home and they budget that money with their wife to get the best benefits for their children. They sacrifice to create generational wealth for their children so they won't have to start their lives from scratch. They teach and advise their children and help them to plan for a future where they can take care of themselves and maintain the quality of life that they are accustomed to. That's what black men do when they love black women. Because when they love black women, they also love black children. The black man that loves black women brings order to his life, to her life, and their children's life. Their family life is based on principles and the values that they uphold as a family. In the South, we used to have a saying, you don't bring shame on the family's name. And that meant that you train your children to conduct themselves in a certain manner when they leave out of that house. So they don't create a situation where you got to go to the jailhouse, the hospital, or the graveyard. You teach your children values, the golden rule, and the principle of treating people the way they would like to be treated. That's what black men do when they love black women. Because when they love black women, they love black children, and they love black people. And they belong to organizations that try to help the children who can be helped. That's what black men do when they love black women. To make these bold moves that a lot of black American women want made would require us to change the black American culture. To make our communities safe and get all this riffraff under control, it's going to take the police, the National Guard, and an act of Congress. And if black people trusted the police to do the right thing when they come into our communities, it would already be in effect. Because when black people can't have a block party and have a good time enjoying themselves in their neighborhood without a lunatic coming up in there creating a tragedy, or a 14-year-old boy having to pull a gun and use it on a grown man because he's in there beating his mother, we are in serious trouble. Some of these neighborhoods need to be under martial law. Because look at what's happening in Nigeria. All black people, and they had this police force, SARS, and apparently they were just running amok in the country. The question is, what do you do when you have a community out of control where children can't play in the yard and old folk can't go to church because they're scared? The second thing that we have to do is what black people are already doing. We have to create a social hierarchy like every other race of people. We can't live around each other. Some of us can't live around each other. And a lot of black people don't try. And it's like, I'm not trying to be less black because I move away from you. I'm getting away from you because you don't have any sense and you don't act like a civilized person. And that's the decision that a lot of black people are making. And that's definitely a decision that black men are going to make, especially if they have wife and children. Now, I get what black women say when they say, what are black men doing collectively to uplift the black race is what they're really saying. Well, black men are running around here talking about, we're at war, claiming that they're at war with white people, but they're not. Black people are at war with each other. Black men are at war with other black men, and black men are at war with black women. You are not at war with white people, so we need to call it what it is. And you can't build and fight at the same time. So you have to settle your community down before you can build. Because I think we're thinking about building something like Black Wall Street. If that could happen, it would be way more sophisticated than what those people had. But you have to have an environment where people wouldn't be scared to go to the movie theater or go to the grocery store. We got the white people doing crazy stuff on the one end, but you got black people doing even more crazy stuff in the neighborhood. So it comes back then to martial law. And I don't believe black people are ready for that. Everybody's not trying to live around everybody else because your values are different, your standards are different. Your body rhythm is different. And that's one of the things about black people, that everybody thinks that everybody's supposed to be in everybody else's business. And that's why you get these men on social media talking about these women, that they're not in the class with those women. They're not on their level and they don't even know them, but they still want to comment on their lives. But we have to really get some separation from each other. And like-minded people have to create their culture and their communities, and they need to have the rules and guidelines based on their beliefs and value system. And everybody is not going to be perfect. We're not perfect beings, but we can touch and agree on what is right and what is wrong. The reason I've done these videos that I've done in the last few days is that during the 4th of July weekend, I was with my nieces and some of their friends, and they were talking about going into these chat rooms. One of them was going on this platform, I think it's called Clubhouse, and the humiliating experience she had trying to talk to black men in that chat room or whatever it was. They all seemed so, some of them were married, so they were like, okay, well, I don't have that problem. But others were like, discouraged. These are kids who've gone to college, they've been through Jack and Jill, they go to church, they're doing what they thought was right and thinking that, well, I'm going to meet a great guy. But you're in the wrong place looking for a great guy. So I am a proponent of good black men because I know there are decent black men out there. So when you get mad at me and tell me that I've changed or you're going to unsubscribe to me because my values are not compatible to yours, because you think that it's healthy and fine for you to get on a social media platform and demean and degrade black women because of some imaginary problem you have with black women. And if you think that going to a neighborhood and shooting up a neighborhood and a young boy trying to protect his mother having to do the unthinkable and other atrocities that are going on in these black neighborhoods, if you think those things are equivalent to a woman being a single mother, or that you're responsible for every damn thing that goes on in a neighborhood because you are a single mother, and you think I'm going to agree with that, you are absolutely mistaken. Black men have to take responsibility for what they do. There are no excuses. And it's not even that you're wrong about single black mothers. Some of the worst experiences I had as a school teacher was with single black mothers who did not want their sons disciplined. And it wasn't just single black mothers. It was married women too. Married black women would come to the school and clown because you had to discipline their child too. All of them would do that. But some of the best parents that I had were single black mothers. So you're having experiences with all these rotten people because you might be a rotten person yourself. Black men who love black women have a monumental challenge because they have to deal with ignorant black men and ignorant black women. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.